Hey, today's artist is a really unusual individual. Edward Gorey comes actually from a line of other artists, probably starting all the way back to Charles Adams, who was a famous illustrator for the New Yorker. But Edward Gorey kind of was able to tap into what actually was not really necessarily viewed as mainstream culture, but probably a thread of an aspect of kind of the macabre, which is in each of us. And so, and he's worked with, folks like Tim Burton and many others. He's a man after my own heart. He reportedly has 20,000 books in his home. So quite a reader and collector of books. So why don't we go ahead and get started and talk a little bit about Edward Gorey. Hey, Sarah, I see you're dressed up as well. Fantastic.
Hi, everyone. Happy almost Halloween. Yes, my witch hat keeps getting cut off by the green screen, but that's okay. So yes, Edward St. John Gorey was born in the Chicago suburb of Wilmette, Illinois. And his mother and father divorced when Gorey was 11 and then remarried when he was 27. But Gorey always had an interest in drawing and sketching and writing, with one of his first preserved works being from the Stolp School Yearbook in 1937. So in 1943, he studied art at the Art Institute of Chicago for only 1 year before getting drafted into the Army and serving from 1944 to 1946. After serving, he enrolled at Harvard and studied French, but drawing and writing was always a part of his life and the people he surrounded himself with. After graduating in 1950, Gorey and a group of recent Harvard alums founded the Poets Theater in Cambridge, which is still there today. And in 1953, he moved to Manhattan and worked in the art department of Doubleday Anchor Publishing Company, illustrating different book covers. He illustrated covers from Dracula to War of the Worlds and many children's books as well, before eventually leaving and pursuing an independent career as an artist and a writer. So this is titled The Doubtful Guest, published in 1957, and it follows a strange creature that comes knocking on the door of a family's large manor one wintry night and makes itself at home. The family can't do anything about this kind of weasel or penguin-like creature, so they just have to deal with it and its strange behavior for the next 17 years. Gorey claims this book is geared towards children, but Doubleday declined to publish it as a children's book. It's also written in rhyming couplets, which I personally associate as sort of Dr. Seussian. So I guess you could call Gorey kind of the spooky Dr. Seuss, if you will. I'm also going to put a link to a YouTube video that narrates and illustrates the whole story, which it's only about 2 minutes long. If you'd like to see the full story, I'll put that in the chat when I'm done. So this next book is actually an alphabet book. And if you look it up on the internet, it says that it's a humorous book, but I think I would say more macabre than anything else. This is called The Gashly Crumb Tinies from 1963. And Gorey depicts each letter of the alphabet as a different child and how they die. So I'll just flip through and we'll read some of these together. A is for Amy, who fell down the stairs. B is for Basil, assaulted by bears. C is for Clara, who wasted away. D is for Desmond, thrown out of a sleigh. I mean, I love how Gorey's work, it's described as, quote, part Tim Burton before there was Burton, and part Edgar Allan Poe long after Poe. And again, throughout the book, you can see Gorey's classic kind of crosshatch sketching style, but it is quite odd that, it's this comic macabre, he's making a joke out of all these children dying. So very fitting for Halloween. So in 1977, Dracula was revived on Broadway, and Gorey was asked to design the sets and the costumes. So this is the poster art for the show. And again, you can see his kind of eerie, inky crosshatch style of drawing that we will also see in the set. And it's kind of a full circle moment because, as I mentioned before, he once illustrated the cover of the Doubleday Dracula book back in the 50s. And here he got to work on the design for the Broadway revival. The production overall received a Tony for the most innovative production of a revival, and Gorey himself won a Tony for Best Costume Design. At first glance, I thought this was a sketch of his set design, but it's actually a photograph of the set. That just kind of highlights, you know, the meticulous artistry that went into creating this backdrop. And if you're familiar with the story of Dracula, this is supposed to be Lucy Seward's boudoir. So overall, Gorey's work is referred to as poisonous and poetic. He was known as the king of the comic macabre, and he wrote more than 100 books. He's also a great artist to research if you want to get into the Halloween spirit. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Sarah. Truly amazing genius, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like there's a few other Gorey fans amongst our audience. Harold, wow, you own 15 Gorey books. Where is Harold?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Yeah, my wife started collecting those many years ago. We also have the poster of,
Oh, we have the Dracula, the original Dracula poster too.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Fantastic.
Ask them where New England is from.
Where you're obviously from New England. Where are you from?
we're in Reston, Virginia.
Oh, wow, okay.
The etching that we have was from the Gotham bookstore in New York, where they sold his, I mean, you're talking now back in the, I guess, early 80s, late 70s.
Wow, that is
Amazing.
Yeah, the Gotham bookstore is said to have given Gorey his start, where he really started to get a cult following in Manhattan.
Huh. So if you look at my background, there's a really interesting biography on Gorey. It's a great read. So if any of you are interested in learning more about the genius of Gorey, grab that book.
Yes.
All right. Do we have any questions of Sarah? Any comments?
I went ahead and put the link to the narration of The Doubtful Guest in the chat if anyone cares to watch it.
Great. And what was the name of the alphabet book?
The Gashly Crumb Tinies.
Okay, what a great title.
Right?
Is it still in print?
I think you can buy it. You can still buy it. I know I found a website that actually has all of goes through the entire alphabet. So you can see it online as well if you look it up.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Sarah. All right, fantastic.